You seen the Patrice O'Neal bit about that song?
I don't think so.
I don't remember. Something about that sound, that chun-chun, is, I don't know, something. He's making fun of like white people in rock music, and he was like, "That's the sound that white people love the most," or something like that.
I mean,
yeah, it's
I'm white,
accurate.
and I dig it.
Yeah,
but I think
Patrice
it's
O'Neal's hilarious.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to Great Measures. That was, by the way, Creep by Radiohead.
That was.
My name's Richard. This is Judson.
Great Measures.
It's been a while since we tortured Judson with Lorna Shore, but we're gonna revisit in a little bit of a different way. So this is a video of the vocalist Will Ramos. He uploaded this video in October of 21. This is their viral song called To The Hellfire. Okay. This is him doing a one-take vocal performance. So it's him in front of a microphone with his voice along with the song. Does that make sense?
Not at all. It's the song.
The song is playing, but he's doing a one-take vocal performance along with the song.
To show everybody
that it's real, and because like there's no layers, there's no doubles, there's no any edits or effects on what he's doing.
Okay. Whatever, bro.
Maybe you'll be impressed.
I'm
I think
sure.
It's impressive.
I mean, it's crazy stuff.
All right, here we go. Buckle up. You ready?
No.
No, you're not. Proceed, Judson.
I find myself like.
The old days.
Yeah, I find myself tensing up and holding my breath. When I listen to this band.
Are you holding your breath in anticipation of something, or are you just holding your breath like to ease the pain a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
So I can say, first of all, I can't understand a word he's saying.
Sure.
Do you know the word? Do you know? What's
For the most part, yeah.
Well, I guess we could talk about the words at some other point.
Sure, yeah.
But I can say that there at the end, the little section at the end where there's a break and then it's that boom.
Yeah, the breakdown.
And he's doing all that crazy stuff. So I could see the art in it at that point.
Okay.
All right, everything leading up to that. My issue is, all right, the kid has crazy range on what he's doing, and he's very creative in how he uses that particular function. But I like to hear more of what the music's doing.
Sure.
The big symphonic stuff.
Right. And I think, with the purpose of this being him showing his vocal ability and with the one take performance, I think the background, the music itself is probably back a little bit.
I don't know about that. I think because you're watching him, that's more.
You're focused on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know that.
so.
I'm not. That's just
because
maybe why the music is lost on you a little bit.
Well, no, anything I've listened to them before, there's a lot going on musically. There's just such a big sound. I really like how the drums sound. I don't like the use of the double bass so much.
And the blast beats with the snare and stuff. Yeah.
But like Sleep Token has a big sound like that, a big symphonic, deep, like, which I think warrants his voice and how the dude sings in Sleep Token. That big, operatic sort of, just epic sound. But when it, like I said, when it's more musical and the songs moving and stuff, I can so see the innovation in that type of singing with this kid. And at the end, I enjoyed how the song was put together, in like the section at the end when he's going up and down and even did that breathing thing or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah. Snarling goblin.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah.
And it may just be that I don't really like. I don't think
anybody watching this video expects Judson to go, man, I really like that. Like, I get it.
I understand. At the end, I saw the art in it. Like, and what I mean by that is totally the sound. Like, not knowing that's why I said something about the lyrics at first. Not knowing what the lyrics were at that point at all. Or at all, and not having to deal with the double bass thing and the constant movement. It was all the space going on. I was totally enjoying it for just noise purposes.
Okay.
Like so if you went and so let me try to describe it like this. So. There was something that went on years ago called Stomp. You ever heard about that?
It sounds familiar.
These people went out and got objects and stuff.
Yeah.
And they made these beat.
I know what you're talking about.
And so going and beating on...
It ended up being like a Broadway thing.
Okay.
Going
and beating on a wall or getting a broom and going like this is not going to do anything at first. But they were doing it Okay, so it's like it'd be like talking about the sound of a word rather than having to do with what the word means, right? So I was enjoying it from that standpoint, as if they're putting these noises, these sounds together, and I enjoyed his vocal in the sound of what they were doing at that point. I can see the art in it. But when you try to make it musical and you call it a song, and I need to listen to it for that musicality or however I listen to music, then it's garbage, rubbish for me.
Yeah,
because I can't. I mean, I see the art in it now. I do, and the end of that part showed that to me. But I feel like there's too much leaning on the actual sound of what he's doing than to find the substance in what he is actually saying.
Okay.
It gets sort of squeezed out by the creative and impressive way that he's doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So for me, this is strictly my opinion and my perspective. One of my favorite things about this extreme type of music and this extreme type of deathcore or death metal or all these subgenres. So it was always one of my favorite things to do when Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder was alive and they were still putting out records with him. Because I loved, as he got older and they progressed and grew as a band, and he even talked about this in interviews, excuse me, you can go back and listen to their first like 3-4 albums, and he even says it in an interview at one point that once those 3 or 4 albums were done and he got to, I think it was 2013's album called Ritual, it was the first time that he was able to sing, but not clean sing. He could, I don't know what the word would be. He would make his harsh screaming vocals. They were more melodic they went with the music better. They syncopated or they fit the music better. I don't know the words I'm trying to use, but
it sounds like it was on key, like he was finding the keys.
Instead of just shouting lines over a verse of insane riffs and blast beats and stuff. But my favorite, because he was my favorite lyricist ever. I mean, the way he put words together was just beautiful to me. Even though the subject matter was typically gruesome and violent and whatever, like just the way he wrote things was just absolute poetry to me. That was one of my favorite things to do, and still is one of my favorite things to do, is when I first listened to an album, I've been listening to, there's a newish song. It came out in like October, but for some reason I just found it the other day. But there's this band out of Nashville, Murfreesboro, called Inferi. Amazing technical death metal band. I've been listening to them for quite a few years now, but I listened to that song that they came out with in October like 4 or 5 times before I go look up the lyrics. But then there's this, okay, I have this idea of the structure of the song, the way the verses are put together, the way the solo sounds, how this breakdown comes in and where it comes in and where it, like, one of my favorite things about some breakdowns and a lot of breakdowns is they're just the bass notes of a riff. Like As I Lay Dying was a band that did that really well. I know that doesn't make any sense, but the breakdown is just the open bass notes of a riff where they're accenting with things under it, you know. But then to go back and listen to an album start to finish, reading along with the lyrics and reading along with stories in those songs, like that. And I think a lot of people that listen to this type of music are going to be able to relate to that. I hope anyways, but that's just what, that's one of the most appealing things about it to me is like, because I mean, first listen, like you might catch words here and there, and there are a few bands who do it and do it well, where you can you can pick up on a lot of what they're saying. Lorna Shore is not one of them.
Right.
But
I mean, I can understand what some of the Black Dahlia Murder sings.
Yeah. But I just like, I love to listen to a song. It might be over the span of like 4 or 5 days that I've listened to it 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And then I'll be like, well, all right, let's go back, listen to it again, but let's read along with the lyrics. I mean, I've got a collection that I had from years and years of CD, like the liner notes, the books that come with the CDs in like 3 shoeboxes, and the shoeboxes are just packed full. And that was one of my favorite things to do all the time, was just turn on a CD or turn on an album and read along.
You think it's weird that cassette tapes used to have an A and a B side, and then the next logical thing was a CD? You ever thought
That's
about
what
that?
you took from all of that?
No. That just kind of hit me.
That's interesting.
Anyway, no, but that's one of my sort of criticisms and also now understandings of this.
Okay.
Is that I have to go read the lyrics. I can't
Right.
understand them. So,
See, I look at it as I get to go read the lyrics.
well, whatever, man.
I'm just saying.
Well,
like,
whatever.
just
You know,
because-
I mean, I get to. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna cuss you out.
I'm just saying.
No,
like,
I
you
understand.
look at it as a task.
No, that's not what I'm saying, man.
You said I have to go read the lyrics.
Well, Jesus, like, I have to listen to it anyway. What I mean is, I have to go read them because I can't understand what they're saying.
Right.
Like, it's a necessity for most of the time.
Yeah.
But what that points to is that whatever people are doing with innovation in vocals they're doing creative things in the sound of it, to the point where the vocals become, you can't understand them because of what they're doing vocally. Okay, I mean, plus this looks like a smaller individual. Like, he's not
Yeah,
6 foot
no,
6.
No, he's not 6'6", 240.
Yeah, and even if he was, it would still be appealing one way or the other. The fact that he's not, and he's, that's like, wow, how's that come out? But I feel, so some people that have the singing career, people that are more focused on, like Adele or whoever.
Sure.
The way they may sing a particular word is what gets you. Like when I'm not thinking of anything right now, but whenever someone sings a particular thing, it'll get you when they, you'll say, whenever Roxette sings a particular word and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
whatever emphasis they put in that word, and then all of a sudden you feel it more because of the word and what it is they're singing about. So it's hard for me. I feel like some of that gets lost in this kind of singing, that they're so focused on the manner by which they're trying to get so extreme with the sound of the vocal that the words. I mean, he could have been singing about flowers. He could have been. What I mean is, he could have been singing about fucking flowers, and there at the end when he's whatever he's doing. It's hard for me to think that if he's singing about flowers, then I'm like, we felt that flowers right there, because it's more focused on the manner by which the vocal is presented rather than what the vocal is presenting. Does that make sense?
It does, but again, taking the time to read the lyrics, experiencing that as you go along listening to it, learning the song lyrically and what they're saying fits the live experience.
But you don't think that part of a vocal, being the vocal, is being able to translate what the words are, so that they're not so indiscernible that you have to go read them later. Like, part of the vocal is to be like, if I just played on the piano and just went and just made this noise, and then told you that's in the key of F sharp. Really? You're saying F sharp with that? Like my job on the piano is to portray a particular thing. Like the vocal is the words. That's its job is to hold up the words portion of the song. So if you then have to go and you can't understand what they're saying, I feel like some of that is getting lost in the actual part of what the vocal is. But I can see in that there's a sound of the vocal that they're focusing on more than the actual.
It's more percussive.
Sure, that's what I was saying.
It's a percussive element, yeah. Like
Now,
I don't.
I see the art in that sense.
Sure, yeah.
But I think it gets lost. The translation of whatever the song is. You tell me the song is called To The Hellfire. I couldn't tell you if he said To The Hellfire or not. I don't know. But so I think part of the vocalist's job is to be able to portray the words in a way that they're understood. Now you can sure go back and read them and find, but I mean, still, are you able to? You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think that's just part of extreme metal, though. Is like,
okay.
Like I don't.
No. Okay.
I don't think that understanding the lyrics on the first listen is a requirement or is something that really anybody that listens to it cares about.
I just think as a vocalist, it's kind of like that would be something I would go, huh. If you can, you know what I mean? Like that's the vote from the vocalist.
Sure.
Job.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. Good.
I get to.
Apparently that sparked something in you. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. That was Judson shouting at me.
No.
No, that was Will Ramos's one-take performance of To The Hellfire from Lorna Shore 2021. We are Great Measures.
Great Measures.
My name is Richard. This is Judson. Hope everybody has a wonderful day.